Hello, my name is Aaron Mizeo, and I love surfing and I surf weekly. So, what I'm hoping to do with this live streaming of a new channel is talk about the joys that I have with surfing and how it affects one's life and how you can go about planning to be able to make this a hobby that brings joy and happiness to you and to others with whom you associate. So, um, what I'm hoping to do today is kind of take us through what does surfing weekly mean? Why are we even talking about surfing? Um, how did I get into surfing and personal benefits? How my last surfing session went, and what we're going to do going forward. And and at the end, once I post this until noon Eastern time, I'd like to invite you to come join me in a Zoom session if you like. All right. So, what does Surfing Weekly mean? Well, if you look at me, I am not a chiseled piece of athletic material. I am 150 pounds. I'm 5'7". I enjoy surfing, of course, but some running. Surfing has helped me start swimming, and so I am not someone who is like super well built. I enjoy looking at content from, say, Rob Case or Chris Mills in terms of how to become this amazing uh, athletic machine, but that is not what I am. And in terms of weekly, right, the other way we would spell it, I try to get out once a week. I live in New Jersey, in the New Brunswick area. It's about 45 minutes to an hour for me to get to the beach, and I have to do significant planning in order to be able to make it and be able to get out there. So, why talk about surfing? Okay, let's move to this point here. If you have gotten to know people who love surfing, you will realize that they can talk your head off about the joys and the fun that they have surfing. And it ranges from the last waves they were surfing to the type of equipment they were using to the health benefits to lifestyle to gear and purchases that they plan on making. And I've found that with my own family and with others, I can start to talk a lot, and it's not always well received. So, this channel will hopefully be an opportunity for us to kind of geek out a little bit and talk without having to maybe get those stares and suggestions that we've talked a little bit too much. Now, how did I get into surfing? Well, I grew up in Florida. So even though my family and I we live in New Jersey now, I grew up in the South Florida area, uh, not far from Fort Lauderdale, and it was probably about 25 minutes to the beach. That said, um, I did not get on a surfboard until I was probably in my late 20s. And then I really didn't start surfing until I was about 38. So in Florida, I grew up enjoying water, pool, swimming, boogie boarding, water skiing, windsurfing, even a little bit of sailing. And I'm grateful for all the people in my family that encourage those types of activities. Going out into the waves, getting pummeled by 3-foot waves was something that we kind of grew up being able to do. And I didn't really have an opportunity to think about surfing as something that I wanted to do. Just the circumstances were not put out there in front of me. My family enjoyed the pool, enjoyed some windsurfing, some sailing. That's really my dad. I have an uncle and an aunt who introduced me and my cousins and me to water skiing. So that was really one of the highlights of my childhood. Many summers we go for about a week, and we get sunburned, and we would ski in the Gulf of Mexico. So not the best conditions, but it was just an awesome learning experience. And I never really even got into wakeboarding either. I was more interested in skiing or slalom skiing, and not particularly good. Thus, going along with the theme of this being surfing weekly. So we ended up my family, my current family, my wife, my kids, or one kid. We ended up moving to New Jersey in about 2012, and I had the opportunity to kind of experience the Jersey Shore, and frankly, was not very impressed. It, the conditions, a variety of circumstances, just led me to think, what does New Jersey have with beaches? And it wasn't until 2017 when a friend of ours invited us to go to one of the beaches on the shore for the 4th of July that my perspective on the Jersey Shore changed completely. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful 4th of July. It was sunny, and there were people out there. It was a beach with nice sand, and I just thought I was mistaken. I made this bad assessment 5 years prior that the beaches on the shore were not worth going to. And living 45 minutes or an hour away from them, I didn't go there on purpose. I would, go home to Florida where my parents are, go other places, and that's where I considered, the beach to exist. So that very summer, after that 4th of July experience, I bought a wave storm and thought this is a budget friendly way to be able to experience the waves and the sun and the beach that I could rationalize doing with my family at this point in my life. And of course, a hobby ends up consuming more funds and more money and or time. I guess funds and money are the same thing, and you end up expanding a little bit and learning things. But I've had a pretty tight budget, I would think, in terms of surfing budget for being able to pursue this hobby, and yet it has brought lots of joy. What level surfer am I? Well, I'm a weak or mediocre surfer. I I like a 4 foot wave. If we get to 5 or 5 feet, okay. 6 feet, uncomfortable. And this is Jersey style, right? So our waves are pretty intense, if I can say that. I mean, I've surfed in Oregon, and a 6 foot wave, it just feels a little bit more of a cradling, caressing carry into the wave. Here, things get you got to be fast. You got to get up to your feet fast, and so I think my wife thought that, well, this little hobby of his will go on for a little bit, and I'll be kind about it. But it's been now about 4 years, and I feel like I've progressed over that time, not as quickly as you know I could have if I spent more time on this. But I have a job, and I have um, family, and I have a number of commitments. So I think surfing weekly is about what I can do to fit in with my other priorities. I have you know, time with my family on a weekly basis in an evening. We have church on a weekly basis. We have cleaning of our house on a weekly basis. So this is kind of one more thing, right, that I've crammed in to my life that happens on a weekly basis, and I think it's worth it. The thing about it, of course, is that you don't know when in the week it's going to hit necessarily, right? And at the end, we'll talk a little bit about uh, about about forecasting and what we're looking at for the upcoming week. Um, so, what have been the personal benefits of surfing? Well, I guess what I'd say there is that. Um, there was a time right before I came to New Jersey where I was very stressed. I was in a job search. Um, it's the most flying, most traveling I've ever done, most eating I've ever done too. And it was just because of what was going on and the people I was meeting and things of that. And by the time and then the stress associated with it, by the time everything kind of worked itself out, um, and I had the super awesome opportunity to come to Rutgers in New Jersey. Uh, I uh, I had kind of gotten probably into a pretty bad situation in terms of my health. I think I was about that summer when we were with family. I got on a scale and it was probably about 25 pounds. I was like 175 or something. It was like 25 pounds heavier, and then starting a super stressful job. Um, that is awesome, but stressful nonetheless. I did not help anything in terms of my health. So, in the summer of now 2019, so I kind of started surfing like maybe the end of summer of 2017. Kind of was getting into it. Summer of 2019, I had the opportunity to work with folks at the Nova University of Lisbon, um, and this opportunity came up. It's awesome. Thank you, Luis, and thank you, Sunny Matt. Thank you, Rodrigo. Thank you, everybody there. Um, and I had the opportunity to go there with my family for this summer, and I was thinking research, I was thinking work, but that summer, um, or that January, when I first visited their campus, I had no idea they were so close to the coast. All right. So I, I innocently went there thinking it was all about research, all about work. But when I visited and I saw the potential circumstances and for being able to live close to the beach, to live 2 blocks from the beach for a whole summer with my family, I was overwhelmed with joy and excitement about that. So um, that was really, I guess, the summer where I would say um, a lot of the health benefits of surfing and eating less and eating well. My family, my wife, we do eat well, but that was kind of like a combination of exercise and walking. We had no car for that time. We were taking the bus, um, and it was just that was when I was really amazed at kind of the potential health benefits, and I lost weight. I feel better. I've had more energy. Of course, some things with my job changed a little bit too, so that made it a little bit more feasible for me to arrange my life and I think a more healthy work-life balance. But I really began to recognize the benefits of surfing when I started to do that. Okay, so what I plan to do going forward will not be me talking like this about how I got into surfing every time. But we're going to talk about some topics I think that will be beneficial to to those who are kind of just interested in trying surfing, or to those who are managing a lot of different things and trying to be able to surf on a budget. So um, that's what we'll typically talk about on a weekly basis. But what I like to do that's consistent if as we go forward is to talk about the last surfing session, and then when I plan to go surfing in the next week. I mean, it's variable depending on conditions. We'll talk about that, and then if anyone wants, I'll post a Zoom, and I'll be available before. Oops, well, not much time, but my next meeting at noon. So today, not much time. All right. So how was my last surfing session? Not super great. This week, off the Jersey coast, we haven't really had very good waves. I was out on Monday. It was probably like 1 foot on a wave storm with a perfect storm pink fin. Just like trying to catch any little thing. And it was fun. It was fun, but it was not what I would consider, what a conventional awesome surf session would be. Um, it was one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm the only one out here, probably for good reason. It's pretty cold, and but I want to get a workout. So down at Belmar, I went from one jetty to another. I was all by myself, and just trying to get a little bit of exercise. So that's how my last surf session went. Um, let's talk a little bit about what we think is coming this weekend and this week. So um, uh, so it looks like it's going to be really good on Saturday tomorrow, at least in some windows. So often we're interested in getting out on the incoming, and it looks like the wind, even though it's cross here, it's going to be pretty mild, and so it could be pretty nice, right? So 4 foot, 3.5 foot kind of waves. Um, it'll be a little bit cold. Okay, a lot of it cold for a lot of you. And we'll talk about wetsuits at some point in our wetsuits in that type of gear at one of these weeks. But yeah, so we're looking at temperatures, in the 20s. Um, and then yeah, the wind is not looking super awesome on Sunday. No, I don't get out on Sundays. I have church. So Sundays are like the day that's off. But given that that's one of the most popular days to go surfing with the crowds and stuff, it's not that big a sacrifice. And then uh, people are talking about Monday as the day to target. Okay, so um, this is outright dangerous for people like me. Maybe not for you guys, but for people like me, yeah. And these conditions, so I would say, based on another website, Surfline, that and I'm based on my experience with Surf Forecast, that this is probably a little bit high of an estimate in terms of the wave height for here for Belmar. Um, but I mean, and I look at Belmar often in Jersey, but I'll surf anywhere from Sandy Hook down to Manasquan. That's kind of my range. Um, so I will probably this also could be a crowded day because it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I don't know if I'll get out, and we surf weekly, and if I can get out twice, that's great. We'll see. That would be maybe a game day decision. But Tuesday, I think I'm definitely going to try to get out there. I'm not too thrilled about the high wind here that we're seeing at 20 miles per hour. That's not really great. And I'm just trying to make it a little bit bigger so people can see. Yeah. But I think that this period is looking pretty good. I mean, I would like, I don't know. I mean, I would like it to be on the incoming, but there's not going to be much time for that. I mean, and it's high tide at 7:13, so it might be a little bit later. Okay, that morning we'll see because the morning's looking it's looking like the swell is going to be dying, but it looks like it should be reasonable in this time. And then if you can get out late in the afternoon and you want to take a longboard out, I think these conditions are looking good. And maybe I don't know. It's hard to say right now. We can maybe try to. Well, no, that it's hard to say. It's hard to say if the wind's going to die down any. Okay, but take a look. The rest of the week, so I'm probably going to try to get out before Tuesday afternoon. Actually, I can't go Tuesday afternoon. I'm teaching. So, okay, so probably Tuesday morning. All right, that's probably the plan. Um, or I'm teaching late afternoon. All right, so anyway, so then the rest of the week, not sure. I mean, if you're you're looking for to get out there on just a not just I shouldn't say that, and that's something I need to be clear about. That surfing it needs to be we need to be more inclusive for everybody. But if you're looking to get out there on a bigger board and have a good time, I think that the wind at least is looking favorable all week, and whether or not some of these things develop to be a little bit bigger. All right, this is in feet. It may there may not be much during the rest of the week. So if I were you, or if I'm me, I'm probably gonna get out before sometime before Tuesday afternoon. Okay. So it's been great getting to chat, getting to talk, and I hope that that some of the things we talk about will be of help to those getting into the sport. And really, I I I'm looking for an outlet here, and this is it. I once heard someone else say, they do four things, and really, I kind of feel like that at this point in my life. I'm a husband, a father. I have my church responsibilities. I have work responsibilities, and I surf. All right, and these things are maybe not quite in that order, lest anyone jump to any conclusions. Um, but um, but yes, it's great to be able to have some chatting and to be able to share some of the joy that comes with surfing. And yeah, feel free to reach out to me, and I hope that we can also have some chats on on Zoom. Thank you.